an ISIS terrorist that stabbed one person to death in last night's Paris bloodbath has been named as Russian-born French passport holder Khamzat Asinov. The assailant, who was shot and killed by police, has been identified as 20-year-old Asinov, who was on a security watch list because of his links with terrorists in Syria. The terrorist, who was born in Chechnya, shouted "Kill me before I kill you" as he slashed the throats of innocent bystanders in Paris last night, killing one and wounding 4 others. The unidentified man was also heard to shout "Allahu Akbar" Arabic for God is the greatest before he was himself shot dead by police marksmen. Forensic officers and a French policeman inspect the area in Monsigny Street in Paris. Image, AFP. The terrorist, who was born in Chechnya, shouted "Kill me before I kill you." Image, AFP. Following last night's attack, an investigating source said, a 29-year-old man died after being stabbed by an assailant close to the Opera House. Image, Asarolina/Twitter. Knifeman shouting "Allahu Akbar" stabs one person to death and injures 8 more in Paris street before police shoot him dead. The bloodbath took place in the center of the French capital, next to the historic Opera Garnier Opera House shortly after 9 p.m. ISIS claimed responsibility for the attack through their Amaq online news agency, saying the killer was a soldier of the Islamic State. Prosecutors in the French capital confirmed that the so far unnamed killer was an Kardashian official term used to flag up individuals who are considered a threat to national security. Although he had no criminal record, agents were concerned that he was in contact with Islamic State contacts, who claimed responsibility for Saturday's attack. The suspect was born in Russia in 1997, image, AFP. The unidentified man was also heard to shout "Allahu Akbar" Arabic for God is the greatest, image, AFP. The father and mother of the attacker are being held for questioning by French police, the source said. Image, AFP. It was the first time that a terrorist with links Chechnya has struck in France, said investigating sources. He came to France as a political refugee in the early 2000s, and as he grew up displayed an increasing interest in radical Islam, one added. ISIS has numerous fighters from the Russian Republic of Chechnya in its ranks, many of whom travel to countries such as Syria for training. François Molins, the Paris prosecutor, confirmed that an investigation had been locked for assassination and attempted murder in connection with a terrorist enterprise. The attack took place near the city's main opera house. Image, AFP. President Emmanuel Macron praised the courage of the police who neutralized the terrorist. Mr. Molins said that the killer's parents, who both live in the Paris area, were arrested in the early hours of Sunday morning, and remain in custody. His fingerprints and other forensic evidence has been taken in an attempt to identify him. It follows a series of ISIS and Al-Qaeda attacks in France which has seen almost 250 killed by terrorists since early 2015. Following last night's attack, an investigating source said, a 29-year-old man was killed, and his body left on the pavement. Then a 34-year-old woman was very badly injured. The attacker targeted an area full of restaurants and bars close. He shouted "Kill me before I kill you" and also used the words "Allahu Akbar." Policemen stand guard in Paris center last night. Image, AFP. At one stage, many were trapped inside a Japanese restaurant, with many fearing the knifeman was inside with them. Image, Rex/Shutterstock. He was slashing throats indiscriminately using a knife before police arrived on the scene. they were able to shoot him dead. The source said a 26-year-old woman and a 31-year-old man were less seriously hurt, and all were later transported to the nearby Georges Pompidou Hospital. The initial attack took place on Rue Monsigny, in the 2nd arrondissement, where crowds were seen running away in panic. At one stage, many were trapped inside a Japanese restaurant, with many fearing the knifeman was inside with them. Just before 9 p.m., we saw people rushing inside the restaurant screaming that a man was inside with a bloody knife, a witness called Laurent told Le Parisien newspaper. People were throwing themselves on the floor in panic. 5 minutes later, there was a second crowd movement. Customers blocked the door of the restaurant, as they were afraid that attacker had slipped inside. Then, it calmed down. Outside, even the police seemed a bit lost at first. Anti-terrorist judges from Paris have launched an investigation, with the city prosecutor François Molins confirming that the suspected Allahu Akbar - words commonly used by ISIS fanatics. President Emmanuel Macron praised the courage of the police who neutralized the terrorist. In a tweet, Mr. Macron said, "France pays once again the price of blood but does not yield an inch to the enemies of freedom." Interior Minister Gérard Collomb meanwhile praised the responsiveness of the police who neutralized the attacker. The injured have been taken to the Georges Pompidou Hospital, where 2 are said to be in a very serious condition. Another witness called Gloria, 47, told the AFP news agency, "I was on a cafe terrace and heard 4 shots. I then came out to see what was happening, then I saw a man on the ground." It follows an ISIS attack in southwest France on March 23, which saw the number of terrorist victims killed on French soil since January 2015 rise to 245.